Hey, this is Tpok. This is going to be my third time recording this part. Because last time, Fraps just decided, oh, you've got Google Chrome open in the background. We're going to record that instead. And so, yeah, it just recorded for 25 minutes. A page, the YouTube homepage. Yeah. Great. So yeah, I'm back in Katawa Shoujo. Hopefully it works this time. But I get the feeling that she uses Misha as a buffer between other people of her own will. Not just because it's been forced onto her. She can communicate well enough with her little pad, she just hates it. After such a long time through talking through another person, I guess you start to lose touch. It seems unavoidable. It isn't much of a far-out idea to think that she isn't great with people. I return to working, kind of wanting to eat that cinnamon bun as more as time drags on. But when I count the shogi pieces still left out on Shizune's table, I can tell at a glance she would win. I'm also too hungry to concentrate if we were to have a rematch. Motivated by my desire to wrap up and eat something, I put the finishing touches on the last of the posters. Done. I think this many is enough. Too many can be a bad thing. Okay. That's it? Just okay? I'll probably do some myself after I'm done picking what voting format to go with. Too many posters is bad too. Haven't you ever heard of oversaturation? I really think you're trying too hard. Tenting her fingers, Shizune looks like she could almost admit it. Maybe. It's what Misha thinks too. I watch as her fingers continue uneasily twining around and pulling at each other in a miniature tug of war. I don't mind, but I asked around in a couple of classes today and the interest is low. It's like you said, so... Does that make it wrong? No, but it does make it kind of pointless. It's not. Yeah, but to who? I doubt even Shizune truly believes that. I'm not doing all this work just for my own ego. That isn't what I mean. The first chance I get to be alone with her in days and I already have cocked it up. Still, she doesn't actually look angry. It's more like she's frustrated that she can't express herself clearly enough. Since she's an expert in sign language, I wouldn't think that would be the case. I wonder what advantage being able to speak would offer her and if she has ever thought about it. It's another project of mine, just like the festivals. I'm going to do it because it's my job. It's just that a student council election isn't as fun as a festival, so no one cares. She briefly touches her fingertips together as if to say, but maybe. There is some truth to it, but Shizune doesn't want to say anything that could be boiled down into something so glib. But I don't care. I want to get people riled up, but this isn't about me. I don't want to be involved at all. What do you mean? You go to, like, every single festival. Shizune waves her hand in mock indignation. Well, I have fun too, but you know it's not the same thing. Her spirits seem to have improved, if she can manage to crack a joke. I don't want anyone to make a point of me being involved. It's a hassle. I don't want that responsibility. Things are becoming too complicated now as is. The more I try to hype up the elections, the more involved I have to be. No one wants to play their hand yet, and it doesn't feel like my time is over, even though it should. Crossing her arms and leaning back, she grinds her teeth together in frustration. They're all so lazy. It's impossible to get them to do anything. Anywhere else, the elections would be an exciting event. It's illogical. Why does everyone have to be so different? If only there was some way to punish them. Like chaining the school to their desks. Voting is mandatory. If you don't vote, you get whipped. Terrifying. I wonder how hypocritical it would be if I were to stay in bed on election day with the flu and a cold and strep throat and a sprained ankle. You should put yourself on one of these. Not as a punishment, don't misunderstand. I hold up one of Misha's posters. Like this, it's kind of a neat idea. Misha was onto something. It's a lot cuter than just text. I think you would like it. Having cute mascots would drum up some excitement. Maybe if it's just Misha. Why not me? Someone told me that the school has slightly more girls than boys. You have to cater to that demographic too. Shizune giggles, audibly this time. I'm surprised, and when she sees my face, so is she. Her face flushes pink, embarrassed to have let out a sound, which is really confusing to say the least. Why don't you put yourself on it? She just waves my question away. It's troublesome. What do you mean troublesome? Everyone knows that you're in the student council. My stomach growls, making me realize that I'm hungrier than I'd thought. Shizuna uses the moment to deflect my question before changing the subject. Or by changing the subject. Is something wrong? No, my stomach growled. I see. She looks at the forgotten pastry on her desk and then frowns, finding it inadequate for 2 people. Let's go to the Shanghai if you're that hungry. It might be a little busy this late, but Yuko is working there today. We will definitely get a table. There's something worryingly underhanded in that smile. I'll pass. I've already been there twice this week back to back. Shizune pouts, leaning back against her deck and scrunching up her posture in protest. What? I'm disappointed you said no. Well, I can't agree with you on everything. You don't give your opinion often enough anyway. It would be easiest for me. It skipped. Why to skip? If it was like that, but not very interesting, right? There are some decisions you should disagree with me on then. You have a duty to. How am I supposed to know which is which? It's easy. No, it's not. Sometimes it's hard for me to tell whether you're joking or serious. Although since she communicates entirely in sign language, that would seem pretty obvious. I wouldn't say that's all there is to it, though. I remember when I had my heart attack. Wanako wouldn't stop talking at first. Eventually I wished that she would just shut up. Or I would have if I hadn't been happy to have any kind of company at all. Gradually I stopped being so grateful. When we talked, it felt like there was nothing more than ritualized exchanges of politeness. Wanako tried extremely hard to obfuscate how she felt, which was that I was hopeless. In the end, her outer behavior matched her inner feelings. For that reason, I was able to accept it when one day she stopped showing up. I was no longer surprised by the time it happened. Even though she considered herself a master at hiding her feelings, I was not surprised. I've heard that games like shogi and chess can tell you a lot about a person. I wish I knew what Shizune thought they said about me. It could be that I'm a little more like a Wanako than I'd like to think. If I can only tie with Shizune by retreating. I guess that we should order out. I suggest that we should order out. Oh man. Sorry if I'm going fast. It's because I've read this. All of this so far. So yeah. The next day, I walk up to my usual vending machine at lunch only to find that it's out of my favorite drink. Secreted so far away from most of the classroom between a storeroom and the library, it's like no one knew about it. I'd expect a vending machine so close to the library to be booming with customers, but then again, the library is empty most of the time and anyone who goes there is only doing it to look for stuff and to pad a paper with. No one stays there longer than they absolutely have to. For the past month it's been working out in my favor, but the trade-off with the vending machine that no one knows about is that it's never restocked. Settling for a can of orange soda, I decide on drinking it here instead of waiting until I get to the cafeteria, when the library door opens next to me. Ah, I've been looking for you. Yuko seems to be acting a lot more assertive than usual today, although it isn't enough to keep her from going back to mumbling immediately afterwards. Return your books, please. I mean the library's books. The books you checked out are really overdue. Some of them are on waiting lists. Oops, I forgot. I keep checking out new ones and forget to return the old ones. That happens to me all the time at university library. It's so embarrassing. Do they send someone to try and get you to bring them back? No, the university library is bigger and they don't notice if I happen to borrow something longer than normal. It's convenient because their policy on keeping the books too long is really strict. Stricter than here. I like how despite what she said, Yuko has no problem with borrowing books for longer than she is supposed to anyway. It makes her being so on top of my own lateness a little hypocritical. It takes a thief, I guess. Catching on to the meaning of her words around the same time I do, Yuko clamps up and starts backpedaling furiously. That's different from this situation. It's totally different. Yuko stares at her nails for a second as if she really wants to bite them, but is too self-conscious to do so. For instance, how long it's been. You checked out some of those books months ago, Hisao. Sorry, it's just that other people want to read them too. If you're a slow reader, that's okay though. No, it's a total screw up on my part. To be honest, I haven't even read some of them. I shouldn't keep taking out books when I have a backlog. That's not good. Yeah, it really isn't. Now I'm starting to copy her habit of trailing off quietly. Her awkwardness is very contagious for some reason. That said, I'm surprised. Yuko seems almost normal today, although every now and then her witchery nervous tics keep popping back up. Come to think of it, she didn't act this way when I first met her. She was a little clumsy and neurotic, but it wasn't anywhere near this severe until Shizune, Misha, and I ran into her at the Shanghai. It could be that Yuko has a complex about having kids from school, seeing her waitressing. I guess it was a little odd for her to pick the closest cafe to the school to work in then. In that case, maybe the place having so few customers could be considered a lucky break. Well, I get it. I'll return them right after school. As soon as possible, please. Wait, can I ask you one more thing? Sure, what is it? I have to go for a while, but I can't leave the library empty. Sorry, but can I ask you to watch it while I'm gone? Just for a little bit. I'll be right back as soon as possible. You're in the student council, so I'm sure if you did it, it would be okay. Alright, I'll do it. Don't worry about it. Thank you. Yuko quickly slides forward as if she's so grateful she is about to give me a hug. But she steps 2 centimeters into it, which ultimately just makes the gesture look extremely confusing. I'm also surprised that she can control her momentum so well, since she seems kind of clumsy. I'm taking a water break. Good. Before I can say much as you're welcome, she is already dashing off with the urgency of someone who is late to an appointment. That could be the case, but I wouldn't feel safe assuming so. It's Yuko, and she seems like the kind of person to treat everything that way. Now that I'm in the library, I feel a bit silly. I don't really know what I'm supposed to do. Should I sit down like I normally would and read? It probably would do, but it wouldn't meet Yuko's high standards. Maybe I should sit at the librarian's desk and give anyone who comes in a stern and analytical glare. I use Shizune as a starting point and practice it a couple of times in a mirrored surface of a pen. I think it looks pretty good. Frustratingly, no one comes in, so I give up on the idea quickly and decide to just go looking for Hanako instead. It's deserted. I think I see someone, but the second I blink, whoever it is gone. As soon as I return to Yuko's desk and crack open an interesting-looking book, a familiar person swings in front of me like a falling pendulum. Yo, librarian, I've been looking for you for like 10 minutes. What? It's you? Man, you must really get around, or the student council makes you get around. Those bitches, how could they? Slave drivers. You must be exaggerating, because it took me 30 seconds just to do a slow walk around the whole place. The thought is overridden by my surprise to see him. Where did you come from? What are you doing here? What, can I gotta go to the library now? I can't even go to the library without some young buck like you giving me third degree over it. I see some girl coming in here all the time, but no one ever asks her what she's doing here. Is it because she reads and I don't? You must be talking about Hanako. Although I suppose they both avoid people, I want to tell him that reading is what you usually do in the library. So if he's not reading, whatever he's doing is bound to make him look way more suspicious than her. In the end, though, I'm too surprised by him practically appearing out of thin air. That doesn't tell me what you are doing here. I'm here because of you. His response makes me feel confused. Maybe I fell asleep and this is all some sort of weird dream, and this Kenji isn't real, but really my subconscious. Is he going to start giving me deep but vaguely worded advice now? Because of you, I got chased out of my dorm by feminists. Now I wander this library like a shoulder without a country, or a ghost. I should haunt you for ruining things for me. It's a shame. It would have been an interesting dream, but it seems like this is the real deal. Yeah, you had to start working with women, and that brought them to my door. You remember that? You should, since you were there. After that day, I knew they were onto me. I should have just trusted my instincts, but I was young and stupid. That wasn't even a week ago. Then, my dad called and said one of my letters hadn't been delivered. The post office couldn't have lost it, so it must have been intercepted. Information warfare. That is when I knew my secret hideout was compromised. Now I'm on the run like a fugitive. It's code red. Dorm rooms aren't secret. They put your name and number on a board right in the doorway. I know, I saw that. They're diabolical. Why not just put a big Wild West wanted poster if they're gonna be like that? Wanted, dead or alive. Probably alive so they can clone me or turn me into a grasshopper. Jumping without warning into the empty chair opposite me, Kenji takes out a cigarette and starts spinning it between his fingers. I've never seen him smoking before, so it must be for effect. I can't even live where I want anymore. This is where it all begins. The tactical brilliance. I mean, once they're in our home, it's over, like termites. If the feminist plans for dominance starts there, where the fuck can we go? The only question is how they could take a page out of the termite playbook when women are naturally repelled by wood. So this is the third time I've seen women are repelled by wood, and I still don't get it. Why are they repelled by wood? You can never go home again. Is that how the saying goes? Man, I don't know about never. I was just there. I don't know anywhere else I can shower and get new clothes and eat and use the bathroom and watch TV. I have to keep watching the news to keep informed. For someone ousted from his dorm room and living on the run, he sure has no qualms about going back there several times a day for long periods of time. But by now, it's slowly turned away from me and is talking to a revolving display of murder mysteries. There's really no point in interrupting him, I guess. I finish off my soda and throw the can into the basket near the door. It hits the rim, but goes in anyway. I silently pump my fist. Kenji quickly gets up and starts to head towards the door. I wasn't really paying attention, and I hope I didn't fist pump at an inappropriate moment. Where are you going? You kept sucking down that juice. So, it wasn't even juice, it was soda. And it's gone now. And what do you mean sucking it down? I had 2 sips. Yeah, right, you had like 50 million sips. That's not even possible. Maybe for you, I go beyond the impossible all the time. Okay, whatever. Now I'm thirsty too. I'm gonna go get my own juice. I'll be right back. He does come almost right back so quickly that I suspect he knows my secret vending machine. Hey, I got you one too. I hope you like grape juice. We're even for the pizza now. Thanks. I want to tell him that I lent him nearly 10 times the cost of a can of grape juice, but that might make me seem petty. Unopposed, Kenji sits down and starts furiously drinking juice like a man with a vendetta against grapes. You know, it's a lucky break for me that I managed to run into you here, man. I kinda need you to do me a favor. Although it's cynical, I wonder if him getting me juice was so he could ask for this favor. If so, it's very transparent and poorly timed. I doubt Kenji would think about that something so deeply, though. Just asking for things straight out is more his style. I need you to recommend me some books. But I thought you didn't read. How did you know? You told me. You said you think people discriminate against you because you don't read. Well, they do, and I do read. I read audiobooks because that's the way of the future. I have to read a book a month for literary studies, though, and I found out that the school doesn't really accept such classics as advanced cryptography. If I don't read a bunch of books, they're gonna fail me. A good literary book, I guess. Brave New World. Recommend that if you haven't read it. Lord of the Flies is good. What's another good one? If you're into feminist stuff, which I know Kenji's not, I would go with Jane Eyre. Didn't like the ending of that one. Pride and Prejudice. What's another one? Sense and Sensibility. That one was kind of funny. Yeah. If I don't read a bunch of books, they're gonna fail me. I can't fail literary studies. That would make me illiterate. That would mean my mom was right. My mom can't be right. I just have to study literacy as much as possible. What about doing some extra credit? No thanks. It's bad enough I have to carry around these stupid things now. He picks up a dictionary, flips through it, and places it on the murder mystery rack behind him. I can't believe this is actually the medium our ancestors used to look at porn. Okay. I'm trying to think. I don't know of a porn-related book that ancestors would have read. I spit my drink all over the book I'm still holding, damaging it beyond any hope of repair. I quickly check the back and see that its suggested retail price is 7,900 yen. I think I might have a heart attack. Wow, destroyed. Shouldn't have done that though. They take vandalism super seriously here. You're gonna get caned. He chortles, amused, before taking an extremely long, loud sip from his can of juice. It's not vandalism. I didn't do it on purpose. You made me do it with your words. And what do you mean caned? I don't want to be caned. Wait, chill out, dude. I didn't mean they actually cane you. They just make you pay for it. And really, really yell at you. It's like they were going to bite my ass off. Still not that big deal. Still not that big of a deal. I don't care if it's figurative. I just don't want to get caned or get my ass bitten off or any kind of punishment. You dumbass. What am I going to do? I'm the only person in here that she knows of anyway. I can't even throw the book in the trash. It will be found. Then she'll know. Damn, dude. Stop being so weird. How is it weird not to want to be fined? Man, stop flipping out, man. I'm not flipping out. I'm trying to save money. So cheap. I'm about to strangle him when I hear Misha's wahaha coming from up the hallway. Apparently Kenji hears it too and uses the opportunity to quickly vanish behind the autobiography section, like the wind. Hi, Hee-chan. Misha shouts exuberantly, dragging an embarrassed Yuko behind her. Water time. Ugh. Hee-chan, were you talking to yourself? On one hand, saying yes could make me look kind of crazy. On the other, if I blow Kenji's cover, he might go off and make me look crazy by association. Yeah. That's okay. Don't be embarrassed, Hee-chan. I do too sometimes. When I'm alone. La la la. Nothing happened while I was gone. Absolutely nothing. It smells like grapes. I'm wearing grape-scented cologne. I lie brazenly and obviously. From her reaction, I'm going to assume that she knows I'm lying or thinks I have an abysmal sense for colognes. Since the can of grape juice I drank is still right there, it's likely to be the former. Fortunately, she doesn't ask any follow-up questions. What are you two doing together? We had lunch together, strictly business. A business lunch. I try to picture Misha in a suit having a business lunch with anyone. Somehow I just can't see it. What kind of business? You don't know. It's nothing. It's normal for one part of the student council to not know what the other is doing. Hey, don't nothing something like that. That isn't normal at all. In fact, it's bad. We're only 3 people. Yuko laughs nervously. She must be terrified. Misha says you want to put posters in the library for the elections. Even though they are really far away. I guess it's okay. I didn't know that I could even decide those kinds of things. You can, isn't it great? Aren't you happy? Yay! Misha grabs Yuko's hands and forces her to clap joyously for herself. Yuko doesn't look very happy about learning that she has more responsibility and power than she'd previously thought. Hee-chan, since you're here, you can help me put them up. Pulling out a giant stack of posters from her bag, she cuts them in half like a deck of cards and passes me the slightly smushed half. Hee-chan had a really good idea. We can put some flyers inside books too. Then, even if they try to ignore us, they won't be able to. They could even be spring-loaded. Misha tries her best to convey the same tone Shizune used. It sounds close to the real thing, and also a little menacing. She was probably kidding. I liked it. No, please, not that. Yuko, don't cry. A super ultra-aggressive marketing blitz. We're gonna start going door to door too. That's a terrible idea. Misha pouts in her best Shizune expression, fingertips tapping together rapidly in annoyance. Hee-chan, you think every idea is terrible. Yeah, but that idea is too terrible to ignore. I can't have that. Wahaha. Hee-chan, that sounds like a challenge. Mutiny. Mutiny is bad. Don't fight. Wahaha. It was just a joke. Okay. Don't fight. Ahaha. The way Yuko sounds when she's trying to be firm makes me think of a kindergarten teacher. I suppose that makes her very persuasive in her own way. Putting up the posters is surprisingly hard simply because the library is already plastered with bulletin boards and flyers lining every couple of meters, some of them in places so unlikely that I'd never noticed them before. Deciding which of them to peel off in favor of our own adds a lot of time to an otherwise simple job. By the time the bell rings to signal the end of lunch, Misha and I already have a sizable amount of posters left. As we decide to leave, I decide to stick one right by the door. It must be one that Misha did. It has a little drawing of Shizune on the bottom. And there's the day ending. My foot is cramped. Or asleep. Both, probably. Ouch. But yeah, I'm gonna end it here. And then I'll have to record some more sometime later today. I don't know. I don't really have time to do later today. Framps, why didn't you work in the first place? Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.